Well, thanks for showing me the house, Mark.
Well, it's more like an apartment. We haven't used it in years. I just mostly keep all my junk in there.
Oh, okay.
The heat, the air, everything works.
Yeah?
So, good luck.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Got a kitchen, stove works, hot water and all that. Not sure about the refrigerator.
Okay.
And you've got a bathroom here.
Okay.
And here's the bathroom.
Oh, nice.
And here we have the bedroom.
Yeah, this is nice, Mark.
I'm glad you like it. Have a seat.
Oh. Yeah, this is perfect.
So you really want it, huh?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
This is perfect.
Well, it is what it is, but you know, hopefully you can make it work. Obviously, as I told you, it's a storage building now.
Yeah.
But you said you just needed a short-term kind of deal, and
Yeah.
I don't need a lease or anything. I mean, you know, in fact, if you just pay the utilities while you're here, that would be more than good enough for me. And the fact that you'll be present on the property it's a plus for me.
Okay.
So that would be good.
Okay. Well, thanks. Wow.
You're moved in.
Thank you, Mark.
Good morning, Chuck.
Sorry.
You have a rider. The address is 302
Guess you're still on the
Westbury Drive,
clock.
Greensboro. Your rider's name is Mark.
All right. Well, thank you, Mark. I sure
Sure.
appreciate it.
I hope you find the place usable.
Yeah, this is great. Thank you.
You never know what a day may bring, but one thing I have learned, everybody's got a story.
So you're going to the airport. Is it for business or pleasure?
This is a pleasure trip.
Oh, nice. Where are you headed?
I'm going to see my father in Hawaii.
Oh, nice.
I'm adopted and he is my birth father.
Oh,
I haven't seen him in about 30 years.
wow. Do y'all stay in touch, or?
We don't keep track that much, but I'm going to do some catching up this next week. I went back to Hawaii 30 years ago to meet my mother and father, find them. My plan was, my whole life is to find my heritage in Hawaii. I've always felt that I was missing out by living on the mainland, and I wanted to go back to Hawaii to start over. That's where I feel like I should have lived. So I got into a motorcycle accident in the early 90s, and after I healed up, I decided to buy a brand new motorcycle, stick it in a box, send it to Hawaii, and follow it over the next week, and ride off into the sunset to find my parents.
Wow.
I went there with a little packet of information my parents gave me that had the address of the adoption agency, and I sat down at a little desk and started to write letters to the adoption agency to get them to open up my records so that I could find my parents. And they were able to send a letter to my last known address where my grandmother still lived. And she opened it. It wasn't addressed to her, but she opened it and got the information out and forwarded the information to my uncle that I was looking for my father and my mother. And she took the envelope and sealed it back up and sent it on to my mother. So months later, I did finally get a call from my father that he wanted to meet me and everything was okay. And I met my father, and
How was that?
it was pretty neat to meet your father the first time. You know,
I can imagine.
it's confusing as well because now you have two fathers, the father that raised you and now that you have a biological father. You may not think about that, but it made life a little more confusing, especially at 22 years old.
Have you always known you were adopted? Or?
I have. My parents would tell me the story of how I was adopted, kind of like a bedtime story. When I was younger, I could either choose Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, or I could choose the adoption story, and I choose the adoption story a lot. So I never met my mother.
You've never met your birth mother?
No, I never met my mother. Never have met my mother. She decided that she would rather not meet me
Oh.
and asked me not to track her down or any members of her family, including my two sisters. Which, I was really excited to meet my mother, and
Oh, yeah.
to get that news in a letter was not a good day. I remember getting the letter, and I didn't open it immediately. I wanted to savor the moment. And I took it back to where I was staying and real gently slipped it open. And it was just one page, just a few words, a few harsh words. But later, my sisters did track me down. They were in Hawaii, and they were at Tuffy's house, my uncle's house, looking at photo albums, and my wife had sent pictures of me and my sons to him over the years, Christmas and things of that nature, so they could keep up. And my sister asked, "Who is this person?" And it was me and my son. Tuffy wouldn't answer because he was sworn to secrecy as well. And that's, 22 years of secrecy. Wasn't going to break easy with him. But the next morning over breakfast, he did tell them that that's your brother. And he has been on the island looking for you guys and has met his father. And he's moved off the island and lives in North Carolina now. And so through Facebook, she tracked me down. And it took a long time for her to, actually she never contacted me. Her husband contacted me because she was afraid to contact me. And then one day they drove from Oklahoma to Greensboro and stayed overnight. We visited and caught up a little bit.
How was that?
Talked about what's happened in life. We still keep contact. It was a good few days. Definitely a good few days. That was a happy time to meet my mother's side of the family too. Finally to meet somebody on that side.
What kind of contact have you had with your mom?
I've spoken to her on the phone, and for a short time we instant messaged each other occasionally about nothing in particular, just day-to-day activities, and still skirting what we both really want to talk about. I still wonder what happened, why it happened.
Think you'll ever go see her? Maybe give her another chance?
I have the option to meet her. I just haven't taken the steps to do it. Sometimes things are just best left alone.
It may bring closure, for both of you.
It could.
never know what your mom might have been going through when you were born. She loved you enough to carry you for 9 months.
You have arrived at your destination.
All right, Mark. Well, here we are.
Thank you for the ride.
Yeah, sure. Well, nice meeting you, man. Hope you have a good trip.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too.
Yeah.
Appreciate the ride.
Yeah, thank you.
Containers must be placed in a one-quart size clear plastic zip-top bag.
All right, Mark, I sure hope things go well with your dad.
Thanks. I think I'm going to plan a trip to Oklahoma next.
All right, sounds good. Take care.
Zip-top bag. Only contains within
It tells us in the scriptures that God's mercies are new every morning. It's a good thing when we can give others another chance. Dear Lord, please bless Mark and his birth mom. Thank you.